Hello. Hello there, Fork. How you doing? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday. I'm gonna turn the music down slightly, and this is my ears as well. All right. I am not going to release the emotes all at once, I don't think. I will kind of pay them out as the stream goes on, but we'll open with one of them. I guess I should look and see which one I'm going to give you. Aniv, alive. All right, I know which one I'll give you. The first one. We'll give you that one. Do I have to refresh my own thing? I don't know. It's assigned. Yeah, it doesn't show up yet. Interesting. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. There's the first one. All right, so the format of the training deck today is going to be this. I've got a couple of speedrun videos pulled up. I'm going to, by necessity, I'm going to have to cover how the vanilla game works. So we're going to sprint through the vanilla game so that you understand how progressions pay out in a vanilla style. And it matters because there are adjustments made to vanilla mechanics in the rando. So we have to understand fundamentally a bit of the basics from the vanilla game before we can talk about the rando. Oh yes, if you missed it, you did. The Discord folks knew about it earlier, but Binoculus was also added this morning as an early treat for those who are in the Discord. So first, let's talk about the difficulty settings of Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts 2 had... okay, let me take one step back. From now on, I'm going to be discussing the game that you can purchase today, which is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And this is important because the original game as released was Kingdom Hearts 2, and there are some things in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix that straight up did not exist in the original game. And that's important to know because the rando is built off of Final Mix, not the original game. So, with that in mind, know that there is an older version of this game that you may or may not have played as a kid that was missing some of the things which you'll see here. There was a significant content update and re-release of Kingdom Hearts 2, first in Japan and then much, much later in North America. So know that you may see things you're like, I don't remember that There's a reason. You probably played the North American release, which never had it on the PlayStation 2. So, with that in mind, the original game had 3 difficulty settings: beginner, standard, and proud. I'm not going to get into the differences between beginner, standard, and proud. Know that the only way to play the original game is on beginner, because the other 2 implement experience differences and combat differences that are not fun. However, Final Mix added a 4th category, which is called critical mode, which is the hardest difficulty. That is the preferred way to play the rando. It is not the way that you have to play. It is simply the preferred way to play the rando. And the reason is because by reasons of the combat curve as laid out in critical mode, the combat balancing, it is the fastest way to play the game. Most speedruns that you see are in critical mode because you can do the most damage. However, you have very little health. You only have 30 hit points, or 20 hit points when you start, I think. And you only go up to like 30 or 40 hit points, so you do not have a lot of health. And the enemies deal a lot of damage. So know that the recommended way to play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix or the rando is either on beginner or critical mode. So keep that in mind. I will tell you when you're seeing beginner stuff, because I do one of the speedruns I have the video for is a beginner speedrun, and the other is in critical mode. So, with that in mind, we're going to do a very fast sprint through Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And I will stop and I will point out things that were not in the original game. So, I have pulled up a video from Nin10, who is a Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrunner. And we are going to watch his run, if that's cool with y'all. So let's go check it out.
Never used Word Goof. I think when I did my hey Downlift, hey Insanity, hey French Fry. Goodbye to my next 10 hours, dude.
This is the vanilla game, the vanilla Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix game, which you will see here on the splash screen.
So if you weren't here, I actually rolled a
Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. He's going to go to critical mode.
And that determined if I would do plat today, and the answer was yes. Oh, hi CJ, welcome to the stream, CJ.
I'm also going to pick the speed up a little bit.
I said CJ. I'm watching.
We're gonna scrub through this as quick as we can. So the way that the game starts out is you play as Roxas, and you are in Twilight Town. That is the way the vanilla game starts, and you have to, in all of Kingdom Hearts, both the original and in the rando, there's progression that you must go through in each world. That's the way that the game is played. What it breaks up is the route through the worlds that you have to take. So what he's doing right now, the fight that he just had with Cypher and following this ghost through the woods and trying to capture it, this is also in the rando. But I will explain how it's broken up. So right now the ghost is invincible. He takes damage to end the fight early, and he then uses his Keyblade to defeat him. All part of the vanilla game, also in the rando.
Those are fast.
Skipping cutscenes is something that is also part of the rando. Generally, you just skip all the cutscenes. You have to do this mail delivery thing, which he will actually have to do, but in the rando, you immediately quit out, and the rando just accepts that as having finished it. I'll cover that too.
Actually, yes. Well, I never used Word Goof. I think when I did my plat run.
So he does it once, and then he leaves immediately. If you do it a lot of times in the vanilla game, you get some extra AP.
Last time I used Final Glide though, which is just good.
Ability points.
My plat route, because my plat route is like pretty.
So again, going through this level very quickly. This is functionally the same as in the rando. You have to fight that guy. He doesn't take any damage. You have to go through this, which is called a dive to the heart section. That's just game lore. You have to fight these three in order to progress. You get aerial recovery here. You saw that he got an ability called aerial recovery.
It's not hard. It's just
Note that during the play of the game awards you with abilities. In the vanilla game, it's predictable. Obviously, the abilities that it gives at very specific points is baked, predictable, and known. The rando scrambles a lot of that around, not just in chests, but also in progression. Here comes the first boss fight of the game. It's called Twilight Thorn. That's this big dude right here. And it's got a scripted QuickTime event, but it does introduce what's called reaction commands. And you can see that it'll have on the left-hand side key counter right over the commands deck. And you'll see another one here, Lunar Salt. So you have to press triangle in order to interact with these reaction commands. This is important. It's not just QuickTime event stuff. It actually comes up in combat too. So you have to keep in mind that, that is a thing that you have to remain aware of. It will actually save your bacon at individual points. So he's going to try and beat this dude. Hopefully he does. Speedrun. Hori, how you doing? So he beats up Twilight Thorn. He's doing an okay job. He's being very meticulous about trying to avoid taking damage. There you go. He's beating him. You can see that guard was awarded. That's an important ability to be able to, just defend against something. Skipping cutscenes. Now we're on to the struggle fights in simulated in Twilight Town. So Roxas has to fight Hainer, Vivi, and then Setzer. So you can beat Hainer. Key difference here is that you do, in fact, want to beat Hainer, as it's the fastest way to win. You have to collect all 200 orbs.
You're just manifesting your plat run? Yo, dude, we got a trophy. Look at that. Holy cow.
So now we fight Vivi. Vivi is harder than Hainer, so...
Just go for dumb strats. The strats that I go for are dumb already. Like, in my PB, I Berserkori Terramet. And then...
You might pick up on some of the combat mechanics just by watching, but I am going to cover combat particulars when we actually start to get into studying the rando. So he's having to fight these three ghosts here. They're called nobodies, if you care. It's lore that you do not need to know to enjoy the rando. Only important if you want to discuss it with some other Kingdom Hearts nerd. You have to fight this guy. He is also a boss fight. You see, we get Scan as a reward. Now we fight Setzer. In this game, I believe he loses on purpose, and that's in order to get a specific item. In the rando, it would be faster to win, probably. So he gets some items. He gets the struggle trophy, and he gets the medal. That's all baked in. Now we go up to the station plaza to go over to Sunset Hill, which is what this is. The following things are cut from the rando, so they do not exist. So you can see he's investigating this wall, and he's got a mini game to do, not in the rando. In fact, none of what follows in this area is in the rando at all, because it's not considered essential to the combat progression of the game. The rando is predicated on combat progression. So if it's not combat progression, it's basically removed from the game, and you'll be able to anticipate as we go on, oh, well, that had nothing to do with combat, and you'll be able to probably guess whether or not it exists in the randomizer. So he just fought Vivi clones. He's now going to go over to the fountain and interact with it. He's going to fight Shadow Roxas.
Oh no. Oh, I didn't find the metal, did I? But no, I did. I think.
There you go.
Maybe I didn't. Did I fuck up? No, I definitely did. Like, I remember going to the menu. Yeah, it's fine.
So, all of this is just to progress the storyline. He has to interact with this garbage bag, and he has to defeat the garbage bag.
They were asking for my first playthrough, and I was ironically saying yes.
Once again, this is not in the rando. This is just a part of the game.
Thank you, Firth.
There you go. He has defeated the garbage bag. Now he has to go back up to Sunset Hill. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. And now that he's gone back up Sunset Hill, he skips the cutscene, and now he has to go to the mansion, which is located elsewhere in Twilight Town. There's no way I can explain in a video where this stuff is. I can tell you what the progression of the world is, but you have to kind of, you know, memorize the map in order to not get lost. So here's just the mansion. He goes there. Now he's got a bunch of cutscenes. It's a different day. He has to fight these ghosts again. This is a forced fight. You'll hear me as we progress. You'll hear me talk about forced fights, and it's the forced fights that you have to plan for in the rando. So they're the fights that you can't get out of doing. They're the ones that you have to anticipate what's coming up next in terms of what forced fight is coming up next, and you have to strategize with what you've been given in the rando. So obviously the game was balanced so that it's achievable. Lou said, "How you doing?" But in this case, he's just working with the intended mechanics. The experience in the rando is highly different because of maybe having more or less than what you would have here. He's advancing the story by going up to Naminé's room, which is what this white room is. He's talked to Naminé, skipped that cutscene, and now he's going over to the other side of the mansion.
I never put it on. It was never removed.
Into the library. He's now in the basement. He skips that cutscene. He enters the next room. All right, here is the last forced fight of this area. So you have to fight these dusks, which is the name of this particular nobody. Again, just Kingdom Hearts nerdery. Then these other enemies whose name I don't know because I don't. Obviously, like you would expect, each enemy has a different attack mechanic, so you have to know what that's likely to do and account for it. This is the final fight of this area. It's versus this guy called Axel. So you have to defeat him using combos and reaction commands. That's it. He gets an HP upgrade, and he has defeated Axel. And that is the end of this area. And what this area is in the vanilla game is the prologue. So if you've played Kingdom Hearts before, you know that the protagonist is Sora, not Roxas. So that is considered the prologue of this game. Now we are playing as Sora. And we are in Twilight Town, right where Roxas was. So we're now progressing through the main story as Sora. This is the beginning of the game. We are told that we have to go to the train station to catch a train, so that's where we head.
Okay, we'll be able to see my estimate now.
He gets halted. This is a forced fight, so you have to fight against all of these characters, but you can death abuse, which is exactly what he did there. You can end the fight quickly by death abusing. You do not get punished for that. We board the train. We're going to here, the Sorcerer's Tower.
I guess I can grab these chests. One thing is that
this is also a forced fight against this small band of Heartless.
it doesn't seem like it's worth it.
So these little Heartless guys here are a forced fight. He dispatches all of them, and we're done. Now we have to climb the tower, so he skips this cutscene, and he starts to climb the stairs. And this is basically a hallway. This is a long hallway, so it's impossible to get lost here.
The thing is that
You just have to keep going forward.
Logic's route,
How
but,
do you know of a Python library that can
basically,
convert
like,
between
halfway through the game,
7
stuff, and then he, like,
and
write
7?
down what stuff he had.
String replacement? And if, please, don't make me laugh.
I just do it all in one go. But I do sim stuff still. And he also double grinded it in core, which I think is not good. 'Cause I think he
Okay.
died multiple times there.
So these are all forced fights. These are all individually forced fights. And this plays out exactly the same way in the rando as it does
Yeah, I don't
here.
like- that is the thing that some people would do. There is some chests I do.
So,
There's some chests that like you never come back to, so you might as well grab them. If I remember where they are.
he defeats all of these enemies.
You don't have the JJ for that? You do have the JJ for that.
Just do if forehead
Oh, it's crazy narrow. Bro? What do you mean, bro?
and if statement. If 7, then 7. All right, we skipped that cutscene. We talked to this guy, Yen Sid.
Yeah, that's true, bud. Some of them
He says go into the next room. We do. We talk to the fairies.
I probably should grab that chest. Like,
Pause. This is the first time we are awarded with a new combat mechanic in the vanilla game, and it's Valor Form. And this is one of the major combat mechanics of this game, which differs significantly from Kingdom Hearts 1, which is that you can use what's called a dry form. In this case, the form is Valor Form, to greatly boost your abilities and your character stats and a bunch of other stuff.
in fact, this one I'll grab, I think. 'Cause we're not
So
gonna-
this is where we receive Valor
we're not in the
Form,
room.
right at the beginning of the game. It's the
We
first
will go back to
form.
that room. But no, we have to come back here for the puzzle piece anyway. Actually, doesn't matter. Yeah, SDT chests are not in general.
And
Like, if you-
now we're introduced to the gummy ship,
um,
which makes a reappearance from
if they were missing
the
one, we
first
would have to
game.
restart the game, which would be horrible.
This is Hollow Bastion. This is the first world that we visit after Twilight Town.
The only annoying part is, like, some of the
And you can see that he's used the dry form. He's got 2 keyblades now.
Thank you, J-Mac.
Valor Form is a strength-based form. It boosts your strength stat, and it boosts your combos, both air and ground combos, from a strength perspective. What it does not have is magic, although we haven't come across magic yet. We're about to. So right here, you saw it just there. I'm going to go back. Our first magic is Blizzard. So we talked to Merlin. He's like, have you remembered your magic? And he gives us our first magic spell, which is Blizzard.
Okay, Slicks. Pretty good luck for Tower Rush.
But when you're in Valor Form, you cannot use magic at all. In fact, you can see,
wonder if it's worth
I
grabbing
don't know
this.
if you saw it.
Thanks, man.
He's trying to use Blizzard, but you can see it's grayed out. You can't use any magic while you're in Valor Form. It's one of the form's limitations.
I wonder if it's worth grabbing this, because I don't know if, like, I'm really gonna
So know that Valor Form is a strength only.
that recovery.
It has no defenses and it cannot use magic. Forced fight. So we're in Hollow Bastion. This is the second forced fight. The first one was just a few moments ago when we walked in and saw Yuffie. So he has to dispatch all these characters while defending the gates. If the gate's health falls below a certain falls to 0, then you lose. So he has to fight all these guys. He's using reaction commands, as you just saw, the dual stance reaction command.
I haven't had a good baiting. I haven't played a category with a good baiting in a while. Other than that,
So-
like, I did.
You can see that he's just doing combos and reaction commands for the most part. He does have access to some magic, which he's using right there. So he's using some Blizzard.
Okay.
Magic is a very powerful way to boost your combat effectiveness. You can see, I'm going to back up.
Okay.
He was awarded fire, so now he has Blizzard and fire. He has 2 magic spells.
Optimize is it? I have record.
Okay.
I think
Now.
optimize.
Lol Fang, thank you so much for love watching Spike's video on this. Looking forward to runs. Hell yeah. I'm basically teaching. I'm teaching about the rando. So, shall we give you the next emote while we're paused here? How about this one? There you go. There is the next emote. So what you're seeing here is the overworld of Kingdom Hearts 2 from the gummy ship perspective. All of it is stripped from the game. So none of this exists in the rando. It's been completely removed. But this is how you navigate in between worlds in the vanilla game, is you go through these doors and you play these gummy missions. I'm not going to make you watch these gummy missions because they're not relevant, but know that this Star Fox style minigame is how you advance between worlds. So we're going to fast forward through all of that. So the first world that he goes to in this run is Land of Dragons.
This one must suck. I actually don't mind it. It's fun.
Which is Mulan's world. So there is Mulan, or Ping, in this case.
Do I have the money?
He uses Valor Form again. Again, Valor Form has no access to magic or defenses. And he's using that. So you might be asking, are there any additional benefits to using dry forms? And the answer is yes. And the reason you would do that is something called growth abilities. And that is, in the vanilla game, as you level forms up, there's a form level right there. You can see that the form gauge goes up, and he also starts to get some tangential abilities. So that ability he just got is called Auto Valor, which basically makes driving into Valor form a reaction command when your health drops too low. It's meant to be kind of like a reactionary, I'm about to die, I'll drive into Valor form to save my life. Because a mechanic in the game is that whenever you drive into a form, it refills your HP and your MP, but it refills your HP and MP. So if you're low on either, you can actually use dry forms as a way of getting all of your health and MP back. So you can see why Auto Valor might be a useful ability. It will save your life.
Oh my god, it's crazy. Thanks, Daniel. Oh no. Any occasion? I'm leaving for 4 days. After this is over, guys. Goodbye.
So this is another forced fight. These three missions from Shang are all forced fights. He dies. He's playing on critical. He got hit once, and you saw how quickly he died. So this is what critical is like. You have very, very low HP. And you have to be very cautious in battles to not just take a whole lot of damage.
That's pretty good.
There you go. He survived. He's on to the next Shang mission, which is the last one, which is the search.
No. I'm not doing that soon.
You have to go through the camp, and you have to find all of the Heartless, and you have to get rid of them. This is also in the rando. These three missions from Shang are in the rando. So.
Quick question: do you use Drive Converter on KH3? Oh, Quick Converter. I don't know. What do you mean, like in the speedrun? Oh, do I use it personally?
These are fairly straightforward. You just have to complete the mission objectives, which in this case is just to finish within without letting the morale drop too low.
Content famine? The fuck is content famine?
Okay. So now he's progressing through the world. So he goes going through the checkpoint and up the mountain, which is the direction that you need to go in order to progress this world.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So he's climbing the mountain to get up to the village.
Full VOD on YouTube?
This is a forced fight. But you don't have to defeat all the enemies here. You simply have to leave. So what he's doing here is exactly that. He's attempting to leave as fast as possible, and he does. Gets a map for it. Now we're in the village. Next forced fight is here in the cave. And this is linear progression. So what I'm describing is the linear progression through the Land of Dragons world. So
the AP boosts are worth it because we're going to be equipping more abilities. So I think we're going to grab those.
So he has to defeat all the enemies in this room in order to win. Quite a lot of enemy spam. He's having to be very careful. Used guard there.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Oh, right, there's level 9.
Okay. He gets slide dash, which is a great ability. I'm not going to go too much into what the abilities do. I'm just going to point out when they come up because I'll talk about them extensively when I talk about the rando and what you would be excited about when you would find it in the rando. But I am just going to point them out when you see them here. So.
Okay, we're not gonna die here.
So he's adding some abilities here. He's doing some menuing. That's all this is. You have to defeat all the Heartless. This is a lie. You do not have to defeat all the Heartless. What you have to do is you have to live. So you have to survive the 60-second timer. That's what you actually have to do here.
That was a mistake. You know, I forgot something.
And in fact, there's not a whole lot of benefit to engaging with these guys in the rando. It's just not worth the risk. But what he's doing is he's attempting to experience farm because it's important for his speed run. You can see he's got level 10 now, so.
Oh, wow. Okay, that wasn't boosted. Alright, that's fine.
Okay.
I didn't boost those, that's fine. It sure is, man.
He's done with that bit.
Because you get Thunder Boost, like, super early. You need it for,
Ping has been unmasked as Mulan. Kind of story progression.
You need it for...
He drives into Valor Form again.
And Shield Rod gets it at, like, level 99. Like,
Valor Form obviously has faster movement. You can see that Valor Form runs faster, so.
I bet some money on it.
Okay, what he just did there is called world map warping, which means that when you warp back to the gummy ship map and then back into the world, it can change your position and move you quite a bit faster through the world than simply staying where you are.
On the job thing?
You can see now he's at the Bamboo Grove, which places him a lot closer to where he wants to be. This is speedrun tech. It's not in the rando, but it's just worth noting what he did.
It's fine. In fact, it's totally fine.
He's farming puzzle pieces, also not in the rando, unless you choose to put them in the rando, but they're generally not.
Using that now. Yeah, it's fine. Wait, can I have anti here?
Okay, this is another forced fight.
Oh, we didn't, so it's fine. Okay, we're good.
Okay, he's won.
Well, I sent Moon Amulet. I think I sent 2 Moon Amulets. And I just used that for grinding forms. And then I just used that for most of the run. I mean, we get cosmic cards. I don't think we sent anything else, or I do. No, Sluggy Rings. Yes, that's the thing. I think Logic sent
He's
that,
fighting. This is the boss fight, the last fight of this world, which is fighting against Shan Yu. He is the final boss.
You wouldn't be able to do
You can see that he's
and it would have to be, like,
nice parry.
grind or something. Okay.
Okay. He's done. He gets aerial sweep for that.
I am flying, yeah.
All right, and that's Land of Dragons complete. He gets a Keyblade. You can see the world flashes to white. It's done.
Only for a tier 3 sub.
Now, instead of going to the one...
Can you give us your best Mickey impression? Only for...
Instead of going to the one on the left, which is Beast's Castle, you're going to go to the one on the right, which is Olympus Coliseum. This is tech for the speedrun. And again, gummy ships and all of this is not in, so none of this is relevant. But important to know how you progress through the worlds in the vanilla game because of the order in which they happen, because it has an effect on the rando. So I'm going to skip the gummy ship mission and go straight to OC. So he's done the gummy ship mission, and here we are at OC.
I think Star was the one that's driving it, right? Yeah. For some reason. Any planting?
So this is all progression. You have to talk to Megara. You have to go through this door. You have to proceed through the Cave of the Dead. You're on your way to talk to Hades.
Experience matters.
And he's down this long hallway.
Because you want to boost in Summit for some reason. I'm forgetting why.
So we run down this long hallway to try and go talk to Hades. You can see that he's passing all of the chests by. It's because the chests are not important to him yet in the speedrun. This is a plat trophy speedrun, so they will be important to him, but they aren't right now.
It's just because they literally programmed the enemies to aim at the middle of your ship, so you just have to remove
Okay,
your ship and then it's fine.
we're just continuing to proceed down the hallway to go attempt to talk to Hades. All right, this is a forced fight, which you are meant to lose. So you're just meant to realize that you can't damage Hades. And it triggers the next section, which is escaping from Hades, because he's invulnerable in the underworld and you can't actually hurt him. So what you have to do is go through this, which is called the Hades escape fight, which is to defeat all the Heartless while not getting killed by Hades. It is incredibly annoying, and it's very easy to die here. You can see that Hades just spawned right on top of him. Used a reaction command there. All right, he's managed to clear the second wave. He's now trying to run for the exit. Here's the third wave.
Nice.
And the fourth wave. So he's using reaction commands. Oh, it's important to know that reaction commands grant you iframes in a lot of situations. So being able to use a reaction command is kind of like, save your bacon moment in a lot of times, is that it grants you iframes.
Thank you, Taharak. OMG, it's the bunny.
Picking up some chests as probably an optimization just for his speedrun.
OMG weenie. That is only in the final mix version, because that's the only one that has a pad. Of course I don't have 7 TV.
So he's basically running back out of the cave.
I'm not gonna download 50
Upcoming next, so Hades escape, run through this hallway, and this is the next forced fight, which is against Cerberus.
Actually, the shortest. I think it's like pretty fast.
He takes an intentional death here because this introduces another mechanic, which is that in certain situations, I can't full screen. The video is full screened. I can't full screen any more than this. The Mickey will show up, and you can fight as Mickey while Sora is unconscious. And this is good because Mickey is not invincible, but he's not killable. So this is a way to abuse the game such that you can deal damage without the fear of losing the fight. And you can see Mickey did all the damage. He revived Sora. Sora landed one hit, and the fight is over. This is called Mickey abuse.
Yeah, for dying, dude. For freaking dying. It's crazy.
And there's two fights it happens in principally, in my experience. Cerberus being one of them.
Change that much until we get past like 1,000 Heartless. I mean, even before then, it's like early games.
Driving into Valor form again. So this is mandatory. This is a forced fight, although it's not much of a fight. It's just training. So you have to collect 20 orbs by smashing these pots. And then you have to do it again, but instead of 20 orbs, it's 100.
You want a cage game only for Mickey? Isn't that just like Epic Mickey, dude? Hey, Mars Bender.
This is just a required minigame. In some versions of the rando, this minigame is shortened quite a bit to because it's kind of pointless. It's not skill-based at all. Well, it's slightly skill-based, but it's not. It doesn't gate you. It just consumes time. The only thing you can be is faster at it. So.
Anti-form trophy would be get before finishing the game. Well, yeah.
All right, driving into Valor form again to just move quicker, and also to use another mechanic, but we'll talk about that later. And now he's going down the other. If you notice the map, he's just going down another route. Notice that he can't drive into Valor form here.
Oh, I did get screwed. Okay.
If you look at it, his drive gauge, which is over his MP gauge, has chains on it, and this is a mechanic of this area, which is that in the underworld, Hades' influence is so strong that you cannot use drive forms in the underworld specifically. And And that is and in fact, that is the point of why we're here. We're actually looking for the Olympus
I
Stone,
grabbed that, but it's not worth it. It's worth
so that we will not be as weak in the underworld.
places you come back to.
And the we just asked Herc for it a moment ago, and he said that it was
You
stolen
ever take a break since
by a dude in a black cloak. Here's a dude in a black cloak. Let's fight him. This is another forced fight. And you have to defeat these 100 forms. It's not exactly a hard fight. You basically just have to bonk one of them and then use the reaction command over and over. Which is exactly what he's doing. He's just bonking one at random and then using the reaction command.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand either. The whole wooden sword, nothing would have hit Heartless in KH1 was retcons like right away.
So
And it makes no sense.
that's how you win this fight. It's pretty straightforward. Fight's over.
Sword couldn't hit Heartless, but then all of a sudden everything can hit Heartless. Like even. This confused me a lot.
You can see that was the Olympus Stone.
Sword couldn't hit Heartless, but then all of a sudden everything can hit.
Trying to find it.
Like even.
There it is. There's the Olympus Stone. Serves as protection from the underworld's curse.
Even the wooden
Important to
sword
know.
in the game. I did not, Louis.
And now you can see we have access to drives in the underworld. So the story progression is that we now can use drive forms in the underworld.
Unfortunately, tier 2s don't count.
This is a forced fight. We have to defeat Pete. His minions are actually optional, but you have to defeat Pete.
Okay, I'm boosting.
Without letting Meg die, by the way.
Damn it, that was dumb.
So
It's fine though. We're boosting here, so it's gonna be hard.
So Meg takes damage, and if Meg takes too much damage, then the fight is over.
Okay, let's see.
So what he's doing is I believe he's trying to bait a reaction command.
Here we go. No, why did he side dash? Dude, did you see that? Okay.
False Pete.
I'm so mad. I can't believe he did that. He slid dashed right into the fucking pinball. The first
He's
one-
obviously trying to set something
That's
up.
definitely more questionable.
So he's not going for the reaction command, so he must be doing something else.
When a boss is literal trash can? I've heard of the game before.
Oh, okay. He used that reaction command.
Thank you, Grayskin.
Use that reaction command. Sir, please check Discord.
Yo, what's up, Day? The fuck is that? What is that? What is SpongeBob doing? It does-
When can I start? 6 a.m. I have no problem with that. I have no problem
we tried
with
it. Very combos.
Oh no, I already said. Were you not in the group DM? I said I can go
Okay.
basically anytime before 9 p.m. I'm fine with.
That Trinity is so much more damage, I forgot.
So this is the next forced fight. This is the Hydra fight. You can see that there's a reaction command that he uses to stun all of the Hydra heads. I'm really not going to dive terribly deep into the combat mechanics of every fight. I am simply going to point out what is a forced fight.
I do keep the game playing proud, but I'm not.
Because all the forced fights make an appearance in the randomizer.
Yeah, of course. Oh.
Okay, he's trying to survive so that he can use Trinity again. There he goes. Uses Trinity. He's using Trinity to the end of the fight. Trinity limit is the first time we see the use of limits.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now. Actually, I
He gets Thunder. You see here, he gets the Thunder element as a reward for beating the Hydra. Another next magic spell. He also gets a Keyblade, Hero's Crest. Now he's going to go back and do Beast's Castle. So these three, sorry, he's not going to do that. He gets recalled to Hollow Bastion. And this is to introduce 100 Acre Wood. So
Just to mean that he doesn't.
Merlin finds Pooh's book, and you can interact with the book and kind of get sucked into it. We get kicked out of it. There's a big Heartless fight. He death abuses. He goes back to the book and realizes all the pages have been torn out. So it introduces kind of a side quest of the game, which is to recollect the pages that were just torn out of the book. Now we go to Beast's Castle. So we've introduced 100 Acre Wood. We're going to skip this gummy mission because it's not relevant, and we're going to go to Beast Castle. So now we're here. This is you get dropped into a forced fight right away when you walk into Beast Castle, which is against all of these Heartless. He ends the fight very quickly by using Trinity Limit. And while you watch him progress through the level, Trinity Limit is the first use of limits in the game, and there are several kinds of limits. Most of which are party limits. So there's Trinity Limit, which is a limit which uses Donald, Goofy, and Sora together, and it's a callback to the Trinity emblems of Kingdom Hearts 1. But it's a very powerful limit that does a lot of damage in a very large area. But there are more limits that are just between Sora and one other person. And we'll cover limits more in the upcoming interactions.
I had it for the past week. VG just got it last night. You sent out these commands.
Kind of a forced interaction. It's not a fight, but it's a forced interaction with the wardrobe. Here comes the next forced fight, and he's using a summon. So you can see that he's using Chicken Little as a summon. And that is, to his benefit, summons alter the combat mechanics quite a lot. They can stun enemies. They can do very specific things. In this case, Chicken Little does chip damage. He can stun enemies and draw them towards you. And he uses it to great effect. This is called Thresholder, by the way, this fight. And he ends it very, very quickly. You have to defeat the big door. And there's just kind of like minions in the room with you that are attempting to also kill you. He's ended the Thresholder fight. He's gone into the dungeon room and done that cutscene. Now he's doing this area, which is not a fight, but it is a forced interaction. You have to do this little mini game where you light these 3 lamps while Cogsworth attempts to keep them activated.
At least we're like it wasn't even that bad. Right now.
You have to get Lumiere and Mrs. Potts to follow you around so that you can dispel the darkness on these lamps and relight them.
Considering I have like 20 minutes of time save still.
There you go. That's the end of that. Using Valor Form again.
We're already 10% done with the run. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, guys? Ain't that banana? Stop.
And he's just proceeding down the hallway. So this is the next forced fight. And this is actually against Beast,
Welcome to the stream.
who has kind of lost his mind. So you can use a reaction command from Cogsworth to stun Beast, and then you end the fight with this reaction command called Charge. We gain an armor slot. Additional piece of armor that we can put on. Skip that cutscene. Beast is now in our party. We do another world warp
Bananas? 10%.
to move around faster.
Actually, 10%.
Another world warp, again to move around faster. None of this is in the rando, unless you want it to be, but it really doesn't make a meaningful difference in the rando. So this is Darkthorn. This is the Darkthorn fight. So you have to defeat this little blob first.
Okay, I messed up. That's fine.
And then you fight Darkthorn himself. This is technically Darkthorn. He just turns into Darkthorn after you fight him the first time. He's got 2 phases, basically. It's a 2-phase fight. That's a better way of saying it.
Wait, this time I was gonna run over. This wasn't that bad.
Okay. This is using Beast's Limit. This is Twin Howl, which is Beast's Limit. So this is Sora and Beast together, dealing a lot of damage in a large area. Actually, not in a large area specifically. Beast's Limit is actually fairly targeted, so... In fact, a lot of the 2-member where it's just Sora and one other person, those they are usually rather targeted limits. Okay, Beast Castle done. We've defeated Darkthorn. And now we are on to the next thing, which is Disney Castle. So now we, as the story goes, we get a phone call from Queen Minnie that we have to come and help. So we go to Disney
I
Castle.
don't think this is faster. Like, it makes more sense to me.
But you'll note that this is actually the fourth world after Hollow Bastion. So it was Twilight Town as Roxas, Twilight Town as Sora, Hollow Bastion, and then Land of Dragons, Olympus Coliseum, Beast Castle, and now Disney Castle. So that is the progression of worlds that has happened so far in this vanilla run. So note that we've been leveling up, we've been advancing the form slightly, we've been gaining more armor slots, more magic, we've been advancing as a character, and that kind of comes into play as we continue to talk about why noting when each world happens in the linear progression is important.
Yeah, they're the rings.
So he's making his way through the world. He talks. There was the first torn page, by the way. We talked to Minnie. This is a forced fight.
Nothing gonna break my drive.
We have to escort Minnie down this hallway. He pushes her along.
Not even for a Scooby snack. Land of Timeless River. Relocate that. Yeah, there's the last push. Sorry, I didn't make it hype. Push.
Now the next force fight, you have to get to the dais with Minnie intact.
Push that mouse, dude. I woke up so early today. I'm fucking dying, mate.
So he's using his reaction command called Faith to gain iframes
I'm fucking tired.
and avoid taking damage from all of these shock towers.
Can't push in the big. Yeah, I mean you can, but it's not gonna be good because you don't have a wall. I'm fucking dying, CJ. So early, dude. I fucking woke up. No, I woke up at 7 a.m., which is earlier than I've been waking up. I do prefer that though.
All right, we made it to the dais. He gets an accessory slot and auto summon.
You know, I had the weirdest thing where I woke up.
So Minnie tells him that we need Merlin's help. Who Merlin is at Hollow Bastion. So this is just lore. He travels to Hollow Bastion to get Merlin. Merlin teleports them back to Disney Castle. Unimportant story stuff. We're still in Disney Castle. We've gone through a door in Disney Castle that takes us to the past.
What if I'm still in the dream?
This area within Disney Castle is called Timeless River, and it's the second instance of a world within a world. Remember that we discovered 100 Acre Wood in Hollow Bastion. Pooh's book was in Hollow Bastion. This Timeless River area was within Disney Castle.
Jump higher? Oh!
Kind of a world within a world.
I hate it.
So we go through a bunch of forced fights. That fight with old Pete is a forced fight.
Yeah, that's how time zones work.
And this fight here at Lilliput is also a forced fight. In fact, these are called the window fights. So you see there's 4 windows that you can kind of go through. These window fights are all forced.
I swear I've done that before. Maybe I had that.
And this is the linear progression of the Disney Castle visit. So here's the next window fight.
Can we add my Sonic Dance emote? Wait, did you redeem an emote I didn't add, or? Oh shit! I didn't realize. That's my bad. Oh, I didn't put on the ring. That's what's happening. I was like, my damage is way too bad right now. I'm so confused. I was so distracted by this. Right.
There you go. Finishes this window fight. That's 2 of 4 done. He goes to the next one.
Is crit any percent? No, 358.
Using summons, using Chicken Little. Chicken Little does the great drag people towards you and stun them is a really good use of his summon. So
I should have done that. Our worlds, it's not really, because you have to do Atlantica and 100 Acre, and then also like the extra worlds aren't really like, it's okay. Like I want to show it off. I'd rather show off like Gold Crown at like GDQ. But like yeah, the optional words have cool strats, but like
Using Trinity here to end the fight quickly.
And it just kind of sucks in some ways. I don't know.
Limits are good for that. Trinity limit especially.
For everything.
He's finished the window fights. This is the next forced fight, which is attempting to get this orb back from Future Pete, who has invaded the pass.
I mean, MCP sucks. I don't like MCP, personally. Me too, CJ.
So you have to... Okay, important. You'll see two things here. One is that Valor Form's form gauge powered up, and High Jump went to level 2, but also Sora got High Jump level 1. This is called a growth ability, and it is the particular growth ability of Valor Form. Valor Form can jump really high, but if you continue to level Valor Form in the vanilla game, that growth ability of being the jump really high applies to your base Sora character. So now Sora, even when he's not in a dry form, has High Jump level 1 available to him. Each form has a growth ability that does something different, and as you level each form, the form's growth abilities apply to base Sora, making base Sora more powerful.
Maybe it is MX. Yeah.
And he got that growth ability by leveling up Valor Form.
Oh, you gotta finish it with it. Oh, no.
Using Trinity Limit here to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they're that bad.
You simply, these are the 4-phase fight. This is the final phase. That's it.
That's fine.
He gets Reflect as his next magic spell. So far we've seen Fire, we've seen Blizzard, we've seen Thunder, and now we've seen Reflect. And Cure, and now we see Reflect.
Zigbar's Bomb Right, yeah.
Also Wave. Oh, it didn't show up for such a long time. That's really odd. Okay. He has cleared Disney Castle. You can see what's coming up. We have Pirates of the Caribbean World, Port Royal, and Atlantica.
Doesn't Pat restrict that? No. You're thinking of KH1.
He goes to Pirates of the Caribbean World. Gummy ship stuff, not relevant. We're skipping all of it. He does more gummy ship stuff that we don't care about. Gummy ship is fun. It may be fun, but it's not relevant for the rando, which is what I'm trying to teach you about. So he goes to Port Royal. So Port Royal is after Disney Castle. So this is the first forced fight of Port Royal.
Not cool.
Which you are meant to lose because you realize you can't damage the pirates until the moon comes out, and all of a sudden you can damage them.
I'm pretty sure the way I do it is wrong. Not. We are done not. Okay. You need time travel when you break the 4th dimension. You can only travel 3 time forwards.
This is a mechanic particular to this world.
And
There's some Heartless here. This is another forced fight. You have to defeat the Heartless here in Port Royal.
Time is already solved. You can't just like go back in time.
Here we go. Heartless fight over. Now we have to board the Interceptor and go after the Black Pearl, which has abducted Elizabeth Swann. Probably sounds familiar if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh no. It's fine.
So we go after the Black Pearl.
Let's fucking go.
Using Jack's limit.
Best limit in the game.
Treasure Isle.
Holy shit. It's actually the best limit in the game.
Saw that we leveled up and we got reaction boost for it.
Probably.
Reaction boost means that if you do damage with the reaction command, again, reaction command is the green triangle. If you do damage, it boosts it. It boosts damage from reaction commands. So this is a forced fight. You're not meant to win. You're meant to survive.
Oh god.
And what he's doing is simply freezing them. There's a couple of different strategies to win this fight, but all you have to know is that you're supposed to survive for 60 seconds, and then you win.
Oh shit. Oh, what do you mean by pick up my
There we
stuff?
go.
Pick me up
He
again.
survives. So now we escape
If you're with
Isla de
me,
Muerta back to the Interceptor.
if we're doing that, then that would be
And this is the boat fight.
Oh,
So this is
yes, that is fine.
you're being invaded by the undead pirates. You have to survive. This is boat fight 1.
Yeah, the busting.
He wins. Boat fight 2 is significantly harder. So this is boat fight 2.
Anyway.
There's pirates all around you, and you're taking cannon fire from the Black Pearl. So there's explosions happening on the deck as well that you have to avoid. And there's a lot of pirates to deal with.
I don't think you can do much about that.
Pirates are particularly susceptible to magic, so he's using his blizzard to pretty good effect. Except that he's an MP charge. This is a good point. This is a good time to point out, by the way, that you'll note that his MP is pink, not blue, because he's run out of MP and he's MP charge. Now it's blue. Now he has MP again. He can use magic
Test
again.
do you have any blueprints?
This is different to Kingdom Hearts 1. I'll discuss it more
Depends on where you're going. Yeah.
later.
Like, if you go to area
Forced
B,
interaction, you have to
test
get rid of all these barrels
Why we do it like that sometimes.
without dying, obviously.
Oh, God.
There you go. He gets an item slot for that. He survives the boat fights. Now we're back to Isla de
We're
Muerta.
at
We are trying to hunt down... well, we're trying to actually break the curse. So, in this particular instance, we're going after Barbosa. And this is the final fight of Port Royal against Barbosa. So, you have to bring the light back to the room by defeating that Heartless, and then you're basically attacking Barbosa.
Can I borrow a couple of these?
You can see that he's using magic to freeze him and then deal a lot of damage. Pretty good strat. Again, the undead pirates are weak to magic. He's done. He gets aerial finish and a drive gauge power up.
That's fine. Honestly.
Barbosa is defeated. Port Royal is done.
What in the duck is happening here?
All right, so now we see the next two worlds, which are Agrabah and Halloween Town. So we are going to Agrabah first. I'm going to skip all of the gummy mission.
That's right. Yeah. It did, yeah? Alright, thank you, man. Oh, what does that mean? Your mom?
Takes an intentional death here. This is a forced fight, but you can death abuse to get out of it quickly.
Are the VG Master after all? No! It doesn't matter, actually. It doesn't matter. When I go to the shop, he's gonna do it anyway.
All right, and then in order to progress to this world, you first have to talk to Jasmine, who's at the palace. So you go to the palace first, talk to Jasmine. You pick up Aladdin, and then you have to go talk to the peddler.
Oh, he takes items, obviously. This should be fine.
This is all in pursuit of Jafar's lamp. Jafar's lamp has made an appearance, so you're trying to track it down.
Okay. I don't
So
know
you
if
talk to the
you can use
peddler.
this
The peddler said something about the Cave of Wonders, so now we're leaving Agrabah to go to the Cave of Wonders.
I might need this, but probably not.
So here's the Cave of Wonders.
I'm always sus. It's my brand. It's my secret captain. Pissed.
You can see he's using the next form, by the way. Wisdom form.
I didn't see what happened on slides, by the way. Like, I literally could be completely wrong. I just assumed.
Wisdom form, whereas Valor form is strength-based. Wisdom form is the opposite. It's magic-based. So Wisdom form greatly enhances your magic. As a result, it has a pretty poor strength stat.
Yo, Full Metal, thank you for the raid. Thank you, Full Metal. I appreciate the raid. Thank you very much.
But you'll see him using quite a bit of magic here as a result.
Come on.
In particular, Reflect.
Actually, kind of hard to tell.
Reflect is a pretty good spell. It's an area of effect rebound. So you wait to take damage, and then if it hits the reflect spell,
Wow.
it rebounds on everything in an area surrounding Zora.
What power would you want?
Zora? Sora.
Being happy. Oh! I don't know why I wanted it so badly, dude. I just wanted it so badly. It's fine. You get it back later.
All right. That's the end of this forced
This
interaction.
wasn't worth doing that.
So we've reached the bottom of the Cave of Wonders. We interact with the sign. Now we get to go into this room. This is the next forced fight.
I can maybe do this just fine. Hang on.
He uses Reflect to great effect here. You can see that Reflect does a lot of damage in a big area if you use it wisely. So waiting to take damage and then using Reflect to basically damage your enemies in return is pretty decent. That was really loud.
I think that kills.
Apparently it's thundering.
Why did you die after messing up, dude? Like, what? Like, was that actually the
Okay, that's the end of that interaction. And now he is having to go to the palace.
I was making sure he had speedster. It's right.
I think I hear children who are outside and there's just lightning striking nearby. Okay, he's using one of Donald's limits called Comet. If you remember what I said, you often have iframes during a lot of interactions, and limits is one of them. You have iframes while Donald is in his limit, so using there to grant himself some iframes and do some damage.
It was kind of bad. Okay. That wasn't that bad. Here we go. We need to use this limit.
Using Aladdin's limit,
Talk to me about
Speedster.
speedrun strats.
There you go. He gets finishing leap for that.
BG's not giving a shit, dude. Harry and Sora are 17 and Riku is 18. Oh, okay. I'm not
And he gets Lamp Charm. He gets Genie's summon. So we've got 3 summons now. Chicken Little, sorry, with 2. Chicken Little and Genie. Okay, now we're doing the gummy mission to get to Halloween Town. We're going to skip this. This is not relevant whatsoever. And we're at Halloween Town now.
It's one of my favorite games. That is the same for me.
So again, Disney Castle, Port Royal, Halloween Town.
Favorite world? Kingdom Hearts 1 Hollow Bastion.
So you can see he's using Genie as a summon. Intentional death. This is a forced fight, but you can death abuse out of it. Now he's heading over to the Hinterlands to go to Christmas Town and see Santa. Next forced fight right here, right in front of Santa's workshop. So this is a forced fight.
You're going to hell. Okay, this is ranked up. Okay, so we're doing fine.
Using Jack's limit, Dance Call.
We agree. Okay. Thank you, Dendalicid. We're on crit.
So going into the workshop, talking to Santa. Santa notices that some stuff is gone wrong, and there's footprints in the snow leading to some sort of perpetrator heading back to Halloween Town. We're simply following the progression of the world, which is to now follow the footprints up to Curly Hill. And now this is the next force fight, which is boss. This is Prison Keeper.
I lent it to him. Aw, man. Actually, almost works. Okay. I moved in myself. Can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Prison Keeper has a bunch of phases where he will consume Lock, Shock, or Barrel and
Like,
take on different abilities.
in excitement. I don't
And
know.
at the end, he'll actually consume all 3 like that.
Dude, what the fuck is this?
So all of the attacks combined.
Dude, he died. I did not mean to use that. I just wanted to do.
There we go. He uses Donald's limit comet to end the fight.
Come out at the same time of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Sounds like an energy drink.
And now he realizes that we have to go back to Christmas Town because Oogie Boogie is there. So
What the fuck is
we have to stop Oogie Boogie. We head back to Christmas Town. World warp to get closer.
Come on, I guess I got this now for no reason.
And now this is the Oogie Boogie fight.
That's a new question.
This is the last fight of Halloween Town,
I prefer JP. I thought that was a proof.
where you have to knock these boxes up into the box with Oogie Boogie
Aqua?
in order to get it to break and him to fall onto the conveyor belt with us so we can do damage.
No, he didn't. Logan's just saying it's too old.
This fight has changed in the rando.
Wow.
Okay, so there you go. So there's multiple phases of this fight. That was phase 1. So now we're trying to do the exact same thing again. We're trying to load up the box with gifts so that the glass breaks and he falls onto the conveyor with us.
I can make it work. Okay.
You can see that it'll reposition itself. You have to account for that. Again, I'm not getting into the technicalities of each fight. I'm simply describing the progression because we're going to pivot over to the rando and then we're going to get into the technical details.
Look at the clock. Look at this. I don't know what that is. It's some sort of meter. Isn't that cool?
All right.
It is nice page. Look how much damage you do.
New attack.
Just play PS4. We're not all rich like you, man. Okay. It is very cheap. Sometimes.
This is a long fight, and the rando changes this fight to be much shorter because there's not a whole lot of skill in the combat of this fight. It's just basically avoiding the pitfalls of the fight, which after a while does not become challenging. So, on any difficulty level. And so the fight is altered.
Wait, what do you mean 220? What? It should never be fucking $200, dude. That must not be USD. It never costs that much.
And there you go. Oogie's down.
It's always 60.
Done with Halloween Town.
Like, that's the most it will ever be.
We get a magic for that.
Goes on sale at sometimes. Yeah.
Which magic was that? Magnet. So we get Magnet as the final spell. This is important. Magnet's a good spell. So remember that. Magnet arrives very late in the game.
So goes on sale at sometimes. Yeah.
And now we have access to the final area, which is Pride Lands, but he chooses to not go there yet. He's going to go here.
Oh, no, I do after, because you need that form. Never mind.
To Twilight Town.
The story so far, is that really $200? Bro, that's a fucking scam. There's no way it's ever that much money.
So in the game we get a notice from a note saying that Kyrie might have been here.
I'm pretty sure each collection.
So we rush to investigate. Kyrie's a person in the game that Sora cares about.
Okay. Like 60 at most per game.
Using Trinity to get through the fight. We skip the cutscene, but the cutscene tells us to go up to the station.
It's KH1.
We go up to the station, we skip the cutscene, and we get our another form. Right here. Limit form. I said I would point out when things became different. Limit form was not in Kingdom Hearts 2 base game. This is particular to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And this form, as you can see, it says access limit form alone with the help of friends far away. Ignore that. It's a form that you can use solo. So limit form is one that you can use without another party member.
And 3. It's 3 games. I don't think that's right. Oh, it's not even 3. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just saying, there's no collection that's $200. I'm just saying that. Like, I don't 100% believe that.
So,
Unless you're buying them separately.
We go to Hollow Bastion. We know Hollow Bastion is covered in darkness, so we go to Hollow Bastion.
No, they don't.
Except that in this...
Me too, man.
Oh, he's form grinding here. He's grinding Wisdom form up to level it up. I'm going to fast forward through all of that because we don't care about it. But know that he's leveling up Wisdom form. And the reason being that he's level up is this. He wants access to this, which is Wisdom form's growth ability, which is called Quick Run. That's why he's leveling up Wisdom form. Now he's back to Hollow Bastion.
Your body will adapt soon. I'm not sure if that's true. Could have gotten the puzzle piece there. But we'll come back.
So
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
we're investigating why Hollow Bastion is covered in darkness. We talked to Sid and Yuffie, who say go to the castle. So that's where we're headed. We're headed to the castle. Through the Bailey. Up the restoration site. Up to the castle.
I thoughts on KH3 ending?
We're here in the postern. Heading into the castle. Through the hallways. Corridors. Excuse me.
I mean, if you're talking about reminds, then I think it's good. Pissed.
And now here into this office. We talk to, and some study. We talk to Leon.
Could've been to a speedrun.
We find a computer room.
But you need to get, like, getting level 5 is the question that I'm trying to answer.
This is introducing the next world in a world. We get sucked into the computer. Sound familiar? We're in Space Paranoids, Tron's world.
It's pretty much I replaced Agrabah grinding with that grinding right there. And even TR isn't that great.
So this is the next world within a world, Space Paranoids. We have to restore power. We're doing this thing where we find the power cube in amongst hidden all these cubes.
Oh, I should put on Hydro. I like having that. I think the Dinner Box is for Gold Prime 2, crit only, and just pre-cooked.
We found the
You
cube.
cook this rat and it's pre-cooked. That's interesting. Oh, right.
We leave.
Limit leveling isn't bad, though. I remember I routed limit leveling into the run. Like, I'm pretty sure, if I remember, I hit the limit level
We just got another form.
into the run.
Went by really quick.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember...
But here it is. Master form. The next form. So we have Valor form, Wisdom form, Limit form, and Master form.
I hit the limit level, like, from fights. I never, like, actually grinded.
And
Limit level, like, from fights. I never, like, actually grinded.
the ukulele charm, which is Stitch. So now I have Stitch as a summon.
Yeah, I thought so.
We head back into the computer.
24.
But we get stuck in the game grid. This is a mini game that seems like it's a force fight. This is removed from the rando.
I guess it's busy bar.
So you have to win this mini game. I'm going to fast forward through all of it because it's not in the rando, so we don't care.
And again, donut ship. Hey, you're Gamini. Hope you're doing good.
You wind up back in the pit cell. You go up through the canyon. Now what he's going to do here is a common experience boosting level grinding tactic. Experience boost, which he's received previously, is a ability which gives you extra experience when you're on critical health. Stitch, as a summon, deflects incoming attacks and stuns enemies by playing his ukulele, and will lick you to refill your MP. This is important because in the next area, he will refill our MP for us, but he also tries to refill your health by playing his ukulele, which stuns enemies and makes them drop health orbs. The enemies in the next area cannot drop health orbs because they drop a different kind of orb. So he can't actually refill your health in the next area because the enemies are not capable of dropping health orbs. What it does mean, though, is that he will indefinitely stun them, and you're stuck in critical health basically for the duration of this fight, meaning that you get the most XP. If you can kill a lot of enemies in the next room, you can get a serious amount of XP if you're on critical health, which is exactly what he's about to do. He's about to take a serious amount of damage.
We're leveling to level 99 right here.
He's got Stitch out. And since Stitch can't refill his health, he's going to abuse his magic spells to kill as many of these things as he possibly can in the 1 minute and 55 seconds he's got. 2 minutes. So this is a speedrun level grinding strat. So watch what he does. So he's leveling up as fast as possible. Which he wants to do to boost his stats to become more powerful as quickly as possible.
I was kidding, by the way. We're not.
So he got up to a particular level that he was happy with in the end of the fight.
23 is almost 99.
Now he goes and proceeds through the canyon over to the IO tower. This is the IO tower hallway. That's the IO tower itself.
In the grand scheme of numbers.
And then you have to leave the IO tower because something is disrupting the system. You leave the IO tower back to the hallway, and this is the last forced fight of Space Paranoids, which is this hostile program.
What's up? Yeah, well, sure.
Using Donald's limit comet.
Nice.
Give me emote. All right, after this. Using limit form there for the first time.
God, it's so much easier.
Using comet again. Here we go. And he wins against hostile program. So now we leave Space Paranoids, we interact with the computer, and we leave back out to Hollow Bastion. So we've exited the world within a world, and now we're back in just plain old Hollow Bastion. And now we have to go through a series of forced fights in Hollow Bastion.
It's not the best in the game to the damage. It's the best for ground combos.
So you have to go through this fight, which is against a lot of enemies. Using Chicken Little here. There we go. Right here. Here's another difference. In the original game, this right here, this hole in this wall did not exist. This leads to an entirely new area. He's going to skip it. But remember that hole in the wall because it's an entirely new area that did not exist in the original Kingdom Hearts 2.
So got VG? Wait, what do you mean? I mean, VG found you for a little bit.
So, again, proceeding through Hollow Bastion. This is the second time we've been here.
When I was first playing the game.
Hence, this area is colloquially known as Hollow Bastion 2.
I didn't play for that long.
Defeating all of these enemies.
Oh, not weak one. Wait, got you. I don't know I did. I definitely have weak one.
Here we go.
Yeah, okay. I guess I could have put that on.
And now into the next forced fight, which is against this guy, Demix. He looks familiar probably because we fought him originally in Olympus Coliseum. And his mechanic hasn't changed a whole lot, but this is a harder fight.
Like 4 years.
Using limit form.
Infinity.
Here we go. Fight's over.
Only a PC thing
He
now.
gets armor slot and a blizzard element. We've gotten blizzard before. This is the point at which I tell you that each magic spell can be upgraded in the vanilla game, and it is upgraded. So each magic spell is upgraded twice. So you get it, and then it's upgraded twice more. So he's just gotten his second blizzard element, which gives him Blizzara.
Okay, I didn't
He
expect that, though.
now has to make his way through these fights, which are called the Final Fantasy fights, because you fight alongside the Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, that was probably my fault.
So that was Yuffie. using some reaction commands. Sora's using his solo limit, which is also called Trinity. That's a little confusing, but... Okay. Our bit with Leon is done.
That's what? Looking like Dynasty Warriors?
Fighting alongside Tifa.
Oh no. It's over. Okay. Yep. Are you requiring that for submissions or no? Like the timer?
Using limit form.
Dude. I think it's this way. Okay.
All right, Tifa's fight is done. On to the last one. So we are fighting alongside Cloud.
Sounds awful, mate. Sorry to hear, mate. Sucks, mate. Oh shit.
Letting Super Saiyan Cloud do all the work. All right, that is the end of the Final Fantasy fights, and now on to the next forced fight, which is called the 1,000 Heartless fight. We've got some torn pages. Those are for Pooh's book, Pooh's storybook. 1,000 Heartless fight. Pretty straightforward. Defeat 1,000 Heartless.
That is fair. I'll probably die here because we have once more.
I'm gonna fast forward to this because it's not relevant. You get the idea.
That's unfortunate.
Defeat 1,000 Heartless.
That's good.
He gets guard break for doing it.
Sure.
Okay. He's gone through Hollow Bastion a second time. Some lore. Okay. We'll pause here and we'll give you another emote and I'll discuss what's coming up next. How about this one? Here you go. There you go. There's the next emote. So, we just did Hollow Bastion 2. The next thing that we're doing is called the revisits or the second visits. There's also a world that he skipped. So, a world that he hasn't done yet. But he's going back to Beast's Castle.
Another one, your stats don't matter, by the way.
To start the second visit. So, I'm going to fast forward through the second visits, but know that the second visits come in the second half of the game. So you revisit each world once, at least once. So some worlds more than... So you revisit each world, you visit each world twice, and some more than twice. But most are twice. This is Beast Castle second visit. I'm going to fast forward through the whole thing because it's not relevant. Sorry. Oh no, he's going to Beast Castle for a very specific reason. He wants this. He wants this Keyblade. Rumbling Rose, which gives a finishing plus with 2 finishers. He's going here specifically for this. And then he's leaving.
I just don't agree with a lot of things you're saying, man.
But it's still, he started Beast's Castle second visit, and now he's leaving. And he's going to Port Royal.
Okay, hang on.
So he's doing Port Royal's second visit. And we're going to fast forward through most of it. It's not really relevant that we're doing a second visit. So know that it's a lot like the first. You have to navigate through. You have to do the second visit. And you have to defeat enemies along the way. He does the second visit. It's full of different enemies and different stuff. He's done with the second visit of Port Royal. More lore.
pretty much need to be like. If you
Okay,
wanna do
Halloween Town's second visit. So he's going through Halloween Town and doing their second visit.
missions. How's it going?
All the while gaining more stuff. More abilities,
It's fucking nerd.
more Keyblades. As
Alright,
you just
commentary,
saw, he
let's
got
go.
Decisive Pumpkin, which is this Keyblade. It's got combo boost on it. So
If you were stranded on an island by yourself, what unlimited food would you want?
he gets combo plus Decisive Pumpkin. Now he's doing Agrabah's second visit.
I'm
This is the second half of the game. You would definitely call this the second half of the game. He goes through
that was interesting.
Agrabah 2. You fight against Jafar. It's pretty cool.
7 trophies.
He got an upgrade to his fire element.
We're almost
He
there.
got
I have 7
another
now.
Keyblade.
7 trophies. Oh my god, we're almost
He's
there.
collecting
Let's
stuff.
go. Crazy.
So now he's going back to Beast Castle. I'm assuming to finish off the second visit.
I think that's the menu.
Yeah, he's finishing Beast Castle second visit. He's using Master Form now. That's pretty cool.
How did that work? How did that work? I guess I didn't hit his. 25 hours?
Land of Dragons second visit.
Wow. About that. Guys,
It's just got stuff. Got fights. Land of Dragons second visit is over.
So you always live streaming? Because I stream a lot. I used to stream only on Twitch, but now I stream on Twitch and YouTube.
A new world is revealed.
Got this again. Didn't notice the chat
We
chat.
go back to Twilight Town for a third time. We skip all of this gummy stuff. It's not relevant.
It went down. No item. There's like ATSTs.
All right, we're in Twilight Town for a third time. One might call this Twilight Town 3.
Why is it like a China Jedi? Is that because there's like ATSTs in there or something, or what?
So we're following the path that's been laid out for us, which is to head to the mansion.
Yeah, right, okay.
Something's been found at the mansion, so we head to the mansion. There's a fight at the mansion.
Alright, let's be command. Grabbing Luke Skywalker with the lightsaber party member? Right. The link is still wrong? Wait, why is it wrong? Does it could not work?
We're exploring the mansion. We find this little hole. Betwixt and between.
We're in the products. No, I remember tragedy, dude. And I'm just going away.
That was Goofy's limit.
Hold up.
We do this fight. This is all in Twilight Town.
I'm sorry, I probably didn't say that right. Yo, a trophy again.
So now we've unlocked the final world, which is the world that never was.
Oh, I don't think I grabbed the puzzle piece in the basement.
So this is the big world with the big white castle that we saw in the overworld with the gummy ship. So now he's grinding out forms, it looks like.
Too much now.
So we're going to skip all of his form grinding because we don't care, but he's leveling up forms. And now he's going through the world that never was.
Yeah, so one of them is in Hollow Bastion, though.
Again, I'm gonna remind you, as I said it before, there's a world that he skipped.
YT propaganda? Bullying met.
Doing this fight,
Where
which
you going?
is against a guy called Roxas.
I'm in Australia currently.
There you go.
Dude,
He gets Combo Master.
Robin.
He proceeds through this world. He's doing something called anti-form grinding,
I do it a different way.
which he does.
Okay.
And he uses anti-form grinding to unlock something called Final Form, which
Oh,
is
I shouldn't have done
the last form.
that.
He's proceeding through the world that never was. And then he backs out right here. So he stops going through the world that never was right here. What does he do?
Let me just go get final form real quick.
He just said he's going to get final form, so... this is Olympus Coliseum's second visit now that he's doing.
No. It's fine.
No. He's not actually beginning the Olympus Coliseum 2. He's just,
I was trying to grab. Oh no. Okay, I still grabbed it.
Okay, he's form grinding. He's form grinding for final form, which I'll explain how that works in a minute, but he's taking advantage of a mechanic in the vanilla game to... There you go. He got it. So there's final form. He's leaving Olympus Coliseum. Going back up to the world that never was.
Okay, hang on, sorry. Let me do this now. We're leveling Valor form. A lot of people...
He's doing more form grinding. So he's form grinding, Valor form. We're going to skip all of that. We don't actually care about his form grinding. We'll cover that when we talk about the rando. Okay, he went back to Hollow Bastion, not to interact with Hollow Bastion, but to interact with Pooh's book. So we're going back to 100 Acre Wood.
I guess I shouldn't get this now.
So
I'm back with Glide.
he's opening chests. Remember, this is a plat trophy run, so he's opening chests in Pooh's world.
300.
So he's proceeding through the side quest that is 100 Acre Wood. So there's there's mini games in each of these.
You know,
He's doing all the mini games.
random article. Probably not.
We don't actually care too much. We'll discuss that later.
Oh right, no, we don't do it yet. Okay, that's right.
What's he doing here? He's doing form grinding, it looks like. Oh no, he's interacting with another thing called the Mushroom 13.
That's a hard magic block on. That's what I do there. I find it pretty good.
Not relevant for the rando. We don't care. He's form grinding master form. We don't care. We'll cover that later. Just tons of form grinding. He's collecting money as well.
Let me buy stuff.
Buying ethers, a lot of
I don't know
them.
if I should buy everything because I forgot. Don't I buy? I think I buy silver rings. Okay, no, it says buy ethers.
He's form grinding still.
Help.
We don't care. We're moving past all of this.
Which is right here. There's a chest.
Okay. He's back in Hollow Bastion.
Wait, how is
He's leaving Hollow Bastion.
Let me just make the thing. It's down.
He's more form grinding? Yes, this is more form grinding. We don't care.
I'm playing this.
And synthesis grinding as well. We don't care about any of this. We just care about talking about the vanilla progression of the game.
This.
More Mushroom 13 stuff. We don't care. Not relevant to the rando.
Everything. Because we're gonna say that bad. Doesn't he already have... Not... Wow. Play Rebirth.
Let's see if I can pick it out.
Okay, no, we're done. Creepers are faster.
Okay, back of the world that never was. We fast forwarded through all of it. He's proceeding through the world that never was. There's just a series of boss fights, really. It's what it is. So This fight
need,
is a forced
the
fight.
rapture
You have to beat
and
this guy if you
also-
go through the world that never
At
was.
level 5 final, I'm not sure that you can kill that many. So like, I'm not sure. It might actually be faster to do the top of whatever was for final form. I'm not sure.
Beating him with final form
Let's go.
using Donald's other limit called Duck Flare. He's beating him.
Bottom of the well. I don't think I need the.
We're basically climbing this castle from bottom to top, so that's what he's headed. That's where he's headed. So he's just basically going up the path.
Need to be crit for trophies, just like that one. I'll use one. Oh, I thought I split. Oops. Thank you, gamer girl.
So he's next boss fight. This is Luxord, a different mechanic. Not really important, but this is just the next forced fight. He wins. He gets Magnega.
It's not have it right now. Oh. He does. If you have lucky.
The next forced fight. This is Syx.
Ain't no way. Okay, I don't know how you do it.
He wins.
Whatever. I just done another reflected thing. So
We're not going to really dive into his combat strategy because that's more for later. Proceeding to the world that never was, continuing up and up and up.
Yeah, we need 99. We want to get 6 planet crystals here. Planet crystals, it should be fine. It's not much done.
Fighting the next boss, which is this guy, Xemnas.
This might be enough.
He has to fight him alone.
Oh my god. Yes! Not trying to pronounce it. Sorry.
All right. He's leaving the world that never was before he actually gets to the top. And that's to go back to the world that I said he missed. He skipped out on, which is Pride Lands.
That's fine.
We don't care about the gummy ship mission to get there. But know that Pride Lands is right at the tail end of everything. So Pride Lands is like an end game level.
Rats. We're the
I'm going to skip past all of Pride Lands because it's not really relevant, but it has first and second visits just like everything else. But I'm going to skip past it because it's not relevant to what I want to talk about. But it is in the rando. So I'm going to skip by all of it. I am skipping ahead an awful lot. I'm noticing.
My friends and I wrote a song called Rap Machine. That's pretty cool, man. How does the song...
Where is it?
I don't know, you can't really type it out, can you? This is
I am
number
skipping
2
ahead by hours.
Out of 4. Out of 4.
Where are you?
Sorry, gummy ship. Oh shit. Why does it say Yoshi music?
Okay.
OMG Smash Brothers. That's gotta be it. Yeah, that should be it for sure.
So we're back in Hollow Bastion. I said everything has second visits, and that goes for Tron's World, Space Paranoids as well. So
Sure.
he's headed to Tron's World to do Tron's World's second visit.
Okay.
So he goes into Tron's World. He has to rescue him.
Like laser beams are pointed towards the thing. Delete bad
This is a
characters.
forced
These
fight.
characters- Remate.
We rescue
They're
Tron.
the hardest.
Now we have to head to the IO tower. Aerith is coming with a
Oh,
disc
fuck this, okay.
to give us to help Tron.
Okay.
Well, Leon's coming. He's going to give it to Aerith. Another forced fight. Space Paranoids 2.
we got every chest. Other than Soldier Cider.
Bear in mind that his progression through this game is different to how someone might choose to do it in a casual playthrough, but it's not like he's not sequence breaking. He's doing things that the vanilla game allows. So
Might be better.
forced fight, that's over. Now you have to do the MCP fight, which is this fight. It's a two-phase fight. You have to fight Sark first, and then you get to fight the MCP.
We don't really have that much left.
So
Oh. Okay. Alright, it's fine.
so you are attempting to delete the MCP.
Even do one cycle.
Skip past this. We don't really care, but know that this is Space Paranoids too.
Yeah, this is fine. Okay, this is fine.
MCP done. Reflect. We got another reflect.
Wrong way.
We don't care about any of this.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. They actually get one hit. That's crazy.
But also, I'm going to go back. Where are we? Right.
It's that guy from Rebirth. Spoilers.
Ignore Sephiroth. We don't care. He's in Hollow Bastion. Right here. This is what we care about. I pointed out the hole in the wall.
Good night, Jacob. Thanks.
Now he goes to the hole in the wall,
Good night, Jacob.
which is this, the Cavern of Remembrance. This was part of Final Mix. This was added in Final Mix. This didn't exist in the original Kingdom Hearts 2. And this is a kind of an add-on area inside Hollow Bastion. It is full of extremely serious enemies who deal a lot of damage and have a lot of health. So this is considered a hard area, even at endgame levels. Moreover, it's pretty built up. Like it's got lots of high ceilings and hard to reach platforms.
Oh, yeah,
Remember, I talked about how Valor Form had high jump and Wisdom Form had quick run.
being
You
live.
are required to have these things in order to actually navigate the
We might have to break that.
almost like the parkour areas of Cavern of Remembrance.
Being alive.
So you need to actually have
Prepare for it to end.
those growth abilities in order to pass through this area.
Should we do a poll? No.
But
More?
there's a series of forced fights here.
Prepare for trouble. That's 20.
Right here. Here's the first one. So he quick runs over this gap.
Record 1024.
First forced fight. This is the first forced Heartless fight.
Should I put magic block? No.
He beats
plat
it.
record. It's plat. Yeah,
You
plat.
have to activate some steam valves in order to progress through the next area. So that's what he does. He goes over to that, activates these steam valves.
Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
Steam is now on.
Fuck.
You can use it to now get through this area.
Don't forget this piece. This piece is important.
He parkours around. That's fine.
Harry the Platinum Trophy run? What is that, Sonner? What is that from? I never understood this reference. Like, I assume it's just because I'm a baby or something. Monopoly?
Into this area, you need Master Form's ability, aerial dodge, in order to get through here.
How is that from Monopoly? I've definitely played Monopoly. I only played when I was younger, though.
Got quite a lot of abilities in his pool now. This is the second forced Heartless fight.
Oh, shit. I'm just being slow.
So he's moving through.
It's on the chance card. Oh.
Again, very hard area, very tough enemies, very easy to die. They take a lot of damage. They deal a lot of damage.
Hey, no.
He's
no,
moving
sorry.
through this area.
Just misinformed. Monopoly better than Uno? I need 5. I need 6.
Now you need Final Form's growth ability for this area, which is Glide. You can see the obviously has it. He's farming for synthesis elements, in case you're wondering what he's doing. He's farming for
What is this? Sorry, 4 crystals.
synthesis items, which are particular to the enemies in this area. We don't care. Right here. He uses growth, his growth ability glide, to get through this area and over to this door. And through this door, we enter into an entirely different sort of area. This, the transport to remembrance. Here are 3 really, really hard fights. Full of a lot of enemies that deal a lot of health, a lot of damage, and have a lot of health. So, this is the first fight with no buddies. He's using Genie to get through the area. He's also level 98.
No, you have to do every world.
Of a possible 99, so he's very high level.
Yo, Mr. Dr. Professor?
And even at that super high level, he's still not just like decimating these guys. He's having to, you know, deal out a lot of repeated damage in order to win.
Great name. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate the sub. That helps the partner plus. Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Second fight.
Alright, have a good night, Outclave.
Third fight.
There it is. We hit the level. We hit 99. A lot sooner than I was planning to because of how unlucky I got.
Lots of enemies. Lots of hard enemies, too. He's using Magnet quite a lot.
That was it. Oh
Here we
my
go.
God.
Third fight.
Thank you, Mr.
And that grants him access to this room right here. The Garden of Assemblage. This is, again, added in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And this room, once you interact with the center monitors, unlocks all of these portals, which you just saw, which are links to the super bosses of the game. So these link to super bosses that are available in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. They're meant to be an end game challenge, right? Yo, Adigo, how's it going? So, with all of that in mind, let's now leave the world of videos and let's actually talk about the rando. So, let's pivot over to that. Let's do this. Okay. So now we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that room that you just saw. The Garden of Assemblage. So now we're here in the Garden of Assemblage, and it looks just kind of like we saw in the video, but this is the focal point of the randomizer. Because the portals, instead of leading to the super bosses, they lead to all the individual worlds that we just saw by looking at the vanilla playthrough. So, Simulated Twilight Town, the area where we started as Roxas, is right here. Hollow Bastion, the next place that we went. Oh, sorry, Twilight Town. The next place that we went is right there, the keyhole. Then we went to Hollow Bastion, which is that crown. Then we went to Land of Dragons. That's right there. Then we went to Olympus Coliseum. That's right there. Then we went to Beast's Castle. That's right there. So all of these represent a portal to a different world. And this is the way the rando is laid out. So you start with absolutely nothing. I've got one Keyblade. I've got no armor. I happen to have an accessory, but only because the rando gave it to me. Donald has his starting items, which is original Mage's Staff and Potion and Ether. And Goofy's got a Night Shield and his potions, which is what he starts with in the base game. So the object of the rando is to make your way through all of these worlds and find items. So, me pull my notes up here. Let's start to talk about what constitutes an item and all of that. So, the rando progresses by having you travel through these worlds and progress through them much the same way that the vanilla game did, except that you're not locked into a specific progression of which world before the other. You could just pick. Moreover, you can leave those worlds at any save portal. You can leave those worlds at any save portal and then just come right back here and go to a different world. So, in order, this is Space Paranoids, Tron's World, Port Royal, Twilight Town, Olympus Coliseum, Halloween Town, Land of Dragons, World That Never Was, Beast's Castle, Agrabah, Pride Lands, Hollow Bastion, Disney Castle, Simulated Twilight Town. This is 100 Acre Wood. And down there is Atlantica, which we didn't actually take a look at, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So you can progress through these worlds in any way you like. However, I mentioned the whole reason I wanted to show you the vanilla playthrough is because you'll note that some of these worlds weren't even available till later. Pride Lands is a great example. Pride Lands wasn't available until much later in the game, right? And there's a reason for that. It's because the game has a combat scaling system, and that in that combat scaling system, Pride Lands is very endgame. So, I'm currently level 1 with 20 hit points. If I visit Pride Lands now, and I go into a fight, I die in one hit. Because these are enemies that anticipate that you are much higher level than level 1. And so, you have to plan your approach around who you think you can reasonably beat. Simulated Twilight Town, pretty easy. Beast Castle, Land of Dragons, pretty easy. You could start there, so you have to have a plan. Let's see. Where are checks? So, the way that the rando progresses is the way that many randos like Link to the Past and all those progress, which is where are the checks? So checks are in chests. You saw plenty of chests while we were rolling around. They also exist as checks based on Sora's level. So as Sora levels up, you remember as he leveled up, you saw that he was given abilities. Checks are randomized into his level ups, so leveling up Sora will sometimes grant you a check. Forms. Remember, we saw that forms gave growth abilities, so as you level up forms have checks. And progression through each world. So obviously there was a story arc of each world that you saw in the vanilla game, and as you progress that story arc, a lot of the breakpoints, a lot of the checkpoints along those story arcs also reward checks. And as I mentioned, most worlds have two visits. So you will go through this world, like you can go through Space Paranoids and you'll get kicked out after the first visit, and you can re-enter to start the second visit. And the second visit will have more checks. The victory conditions. So, I can get checks. That's fantastic. How do I win? I didn't show it to you, but there is an end boss, and you can access the end boss one of a few ways. The end boss was, of course, in the world that never was, the last world. You can access it by going through the world that never was and getting to the final door, which I didn't show you, but there is the door at the end of the world that never was that constitutes the end of the vanilla game. And getting to that door is the end of the randomizer. However, more often than not, the door will be closed. In order to unlock the door, you need your victory conditions. In the rando today, there are 3 different victory conditions that you can select and have to fulfill. The first is collecting 3 items called proofs. In the vanilla game, these proofs are rewarded to the player for completing extremely difficult combat tasks. In rando, they're just shuffled into the pool. They're called the Proof of Peace, the Proof of Tranquility, and the proof of connection. And I can show you what those look like. I'm going to pivot over now to a different file. And I'll show you what those things look like. And while that's loading, I will give you another emote. How about this one? OMG. So this is a different file. And you can see the items that I told you about, the proofs. Looks like such an ass, that's great. Are right here. These three things. This is what they look like. The proof of connection, the proof of non-existence, and the proof of peace. These are the three items that you have to get in order to unlock the final door. So that's one of the potential win conditions. One of the other potential win conditions is lucky emblems. They are something that are added by Rando, and they're just basically Mickey Mouse. They're little Mickey Mouse emblems that you can find as checks in chests, on form growth abilities, on level ups, on story progression. You can find them, and you need a sum total of them to finish to unlock the door at the end of the game. The last is Hitman. If you choose Hitman, you will be assigned a hit list of enemies that you have to beat. So you have to find enough stuff to make you confident enough to beat the final, beat those people on your hit list. So you have to find the tools that you think will allow you to beat the person on the hit list. If you're wondering why he's wearing a gold crown, in the vanilla game, when you collect those proofs, you collect these proofs, each proof gives you a crown, and it upgrades the crown as you go. So if you get one proof, you have a bronze crown. If you get two proofs, you have a silver crown. If you have all three, you have a gold crown. So it's a quick way, it's a visual way of telling you how many proofs you have. If you have a gold crown, it means you know you have all three. If you've got a silver crown, you know you have two of the three. Bronze crown, one of the three. The other thing is that as you play, you'll note that some of these portals are pink. That means on this file, this has been fully cleared. I've done both visits of Land of Dragons. So you can see some are pink, some are not. That is a quick way of telling your progress. When everyone is super, no one will be. Let me see. I have stated everything I wanted to about that. So that's the victory conditions. So, why the hell do people play this game? So, Sora has access to his items are as follows. He has access to a Keyblade, which is his sword, if you will. Each sword in the rando, in the vanilla game, the Keyblades are static. They have an assigned stat and an assigned ability. That is all randomized in the randomizer. So this Kingdom Key does not have 10 strength and 8 magic. In this, it's a 1/1 in vanilla. This one has 10 strength and 8 magic, and it has the ability form boost. So by wielding this, I get plus 10 to my strength, plus 8 to my magic, and I gain access to the form boost ability. On down the list. You can see that each of them have an assigned one, right? And for the forms that have a second, you know from looking at it, that when he drives into a form, he has a second Keyblade, so you obviously also get to assign a second Keyblade to each form. Right? What else? You have access to armor. Armor does two things. It improves your defense stat, and it improves your resistances. So example, this cosmic chain adds 4 to my defense and 25% to my resistances across fire, blizzard, thunder, and thark. Thunder and thark? Thunder and dark. This adds 20%. This adds 30% across on 3 defense. If I throw something else on, here's another ribbon, another 15%. There you go. You can see what it's doing. It's all adding up. So I have 50 defense. Cool. That's armor. You also have accessories. Accessories add ability points, strength, and magic. Here's another 3 strength. Here's another 3 magic. So, and it's also adding AP. I'll explain why that's important in a minute. AP does not come into effect as much in Rando, but I'll explain it nonetheless. And then your items. These will look very familiar to anyone who's played a Final Fantasy game. Potions, high potions, mega potions, ethers, mega ethers, elixirs, mega elixirs. I think you can figure out what that does. Potions, this is some health. This is more health. This is party health. This is MP. This is party MP. This is fully restore your HP and MP. Fully restore the party's HP and MP. They're items. You can carry these items with you into battle. Donald has his own list with his own weapons. Goofy has his own list with his own weapons. We also have things in our stock like a tent, fully restores HP and MP. Drive recoveries, which restores a drive gauge. I've got, what, 6 drive right now? Now I have 9. That's the way that works. Alright, that's base Sora. Let's talk about his abilities. So I mentioned that he has these abilities each do something, right? So guard. Blocks and shoots back enemy attacks when parrying with square. That's guard, right there. Horizontal upper slash. Knocks a target into the air during a combo with square. So if you're comboing and you press square, he'll do an upper slash. Mid-air combos. If this will do... I don't think I have... Yeah, I don't have Combo Master on? I do have Combo Master on. I just don't have any enemies. So, all of these abilities do stuff, right? Finishing Leap. Unleashes a powerful guard-piercing attack at the end of a combo. So, X is your attack, and you can vary it with additional things. Each of these does something good, and you would have a reason to equip it in the first place. Growth abilities. I talked about this. So as your forms level up in the vanilla game, you get access to these growth abilities, and they will max out eventually. Growth abilities are something that you can find in your checks. So let me turn them all off. So I can't quick run. That's what my jump looks like right there. I can't fly. So let me show you what they all look like. So if I turn high jump on, now I can jump real high. If I turn quick run on, I can move really fast. Dodge roll is limits form, so you can do a dodge roll. Aerial dodge is master form, so you can do an aerial dodge that deflects projectiles and also moves you through the air. You can also glide, which is the ability to fly, basically. Combo that all together, it looks something like this. It's really fast movement if you combo it all together, so... So he's got 3 kinds. He's got his action, his growth, and then his support. So this does other stuff. So scan inspects the current target HP. Recovery is regain balance. Combo master, unleash a combo whether or not your hits land. Combo boosts, reaction boosts, finisher plus. All of this stuff does something, right? And you would have a reason to equip it. Let's talk about his magic. Each of the magic does something slightly different. So fire does that. Blizzard does that. Thunder. Magnet. Reflect. Each of them does something slightly different. And you would have a reason to use each one in a different context in every fight. What I can tell you just from experience is that Magnet and Reflect are the most busted for sure. Reflect especially. Items. I think I covered items. Limits. So let's look at Donald's limits. Limits are categorized as abilities. So Duck Flare. There's... Actually, I can't use limit in this room, but you could access limits right there. There's Duck Flare I've got equipped on Donald, and Trinity, which is Sora's ability. So you can see that I have Trinity limit equipped. And then Goofy has his own. I go down to him. His limit in this particular seed is probably shuffled onto an item. There you go. There's his limit right there. Whirligoof. He's also got a second one called Knock Smash. I don't remember what that is, though. Summons. So here are the 4 summons. Chicken Little, Genie, Stitch, and Peter Pan. Each of them does something different. And then, of course, the forms themselves, which are the 5 forms: Valor Form, Wisdom Form, Limit Form, and Master Form. Each of these forms, you would have a different reason to use them, except Valor Form. No one uses Valor Form for anything except refilling their HP and MP. Final Form, obviously, with Final in the name, is the most impressive form, for sure. Just as a demonstration.
Gather. Gather.
That's what comboing your magic together looks like. You saw this fight. This is the Demix fight. You saw this fight in the vanilla game just now. This is going to... What I'm about to do is going to look a little different to what he did. Granted, bear in mind that I was playing that one on 1.5 speed.
Let's go. Like it? Like it? Dance, water, dance! Gather! Take this! Give me strength!
You can see that the high-level magic combined with Final Form does a lot of damage to his health really quickly. These are the Final Fantasy fights. You saw them before. Just using Magnet and Thunder, you can see why I say that Magnet is the most busted. Granted, again, this is rando. I'm at a level you would never be at in a vanilla game. I have abilities that you would never have.
Let's go. Light.
Don't say I didn't warn you. Enough!
Back off. Give me strength. It's over.
Hurry! Go on ahead.
Using limit form.
It's over.
Using an ether.
Gather. Gather.
Pretty straightforward. Rando allows you to do a lot of things that you cannot do in the base game, like cheese. Like this. So, we're now at the 1,000 Heartless fight, which I described for you earlier. The 1,000 Heartless fight is you have to fight through 1,000 Heartless. I have Magnega and a very high magic stat. I can actually abuse that to my advantage.
Gather. 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 Okay.
Just refill my MP here.
Gather. Gather. Gather.
Fill my MP again.
Gather. Gather.
And that's the 1,000 Heartless fight. You can use all sorts of cool strategies that only apply in Rando. There's a whole bunch of checks. That's kind of how Rando works. Here's another check. I think I've kind of covered most of everything. So after this, it kind of becomes about learning about the actual applied combat strategies of each potential area. So each forced fight has a slightly different taste and feel to it that you might use a different strategy for. There are some pretty hot strats out there, and like people are coming up with new strats all the time to beat some of the bosses of this game. But I think that's kind of all I really wanted to say about it, unless anyone has any questions. Kind of diving into... You can see, based on everything, you know, you have magic, you have items, you have drive forms, you have summons, you have limits, you have tons of available options to execute your combat. And this is all stuff on the command menu. This isn't even counting the stuff that Sora's got equipped to his abilities. So you can do all sorts of things with combat and approaches that vary it, you know, and you have to hey Farizon, you have to take a different approach every time based on what the rando gives you. Because I picked up all this stuff from playing through the seed. I didn't have it when I started, and it might not necessarily have any of it or only some of it going into any particular fight. So I have to change my strategy based on what I've got. Kind of like every other rando that is like this. All right. Do you like that? Let's give you guys some more emotes. How's that sound? There you go. There's the next one. I hope that was educational for somebody. The rest of it is kind of like, you know, I picked up everything that I know about the combat and all that from watching people and from playing. So there's plenty to be picked up about it. I just wanted to show that, you know, the game is far from simple and straightforward in terms of it's not, you know, I'm nowhere near KH Rando ready. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't either. I started out playing Rando on beginner. Beginner is far more forgiving. Because you have tons of health. You can take a lot of damage. You don't die as easy. So, and when I say playing on beginner, I mean beginner difficulty. So, which is something I covered at the beginning of this video. So there's no reason why you couldn't just play on beginner and explore. Plus, and I'm going to throw it out there to anyone watching this, if you join, you know, a community where people are doing multi-worlds or archipelagos or rando races, there's tons of people that'll help you out. Like say, hey, I'm trying to fight Thresholder. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. There's people who would help, give you tips and tricks. There's each fight has dozens of combat approaches that people have like documented. There's a mountain of information out there about people's strats. Yeah, exactly. If someone wanted to do KH2, I could coach them. I'm not saying I'm the best coach in the world, but I've got some experience, more than zero. So, you know. It do be a fun game. We've got 3 left. Here is your next one. Yeah, I like playing Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando a lot, so I'm more than happy to, you know, try and get more people into it, and you know, having fun learning about it. So, and yeah, there's tons of people who play this like, you know, in like the leagues. So Spike Vegeta, as Lawfang said, Spike Vegeta runs KH2 all the time. Sonic Shadow Silver does as well. She does. Tons of randos. In fact, Sonic, she is one of the original developers of the rando. So that's, you know, pretty cool. Oh, I guess I could also show off the so if you're watching, you've probably used Archipelago quite a bit, so you know how that looks. But I can show off the seed generator. So that looks like this. Who is this is now a complete question. It looks like this. So this is the generator, and it has the locations that you can specify, the super bosses that you want to fight. The miscellaneous locations. Cabin of Remembrance, transport to remembrance, synthesis items, puzzle pieces, which I didn't really cover. The Olympus Cups and Olympus Coliseum. The super bosses. Oh, Atlantica. I said that was Atlantica. I pointed it out. By default, all of Atlantica is turned off. And that's because Atlantica is not a combat area. I said that the randomizer concentrates principally on Kingdom Hearts 2 combat because that's the fun bit. That's why Atlantica is cut out. Starting inventory, EXP stats. There's a hint system in the rando. So if you're trying to go quick, there's a hint system to help you find out where cool stuff is. Keyblade randomization, item pool randomization, seed modifiers. I haven't tried it, but there's a boss enemy rando too. And there's also custom cosmetics. Tons of shit. So... More cool stuff. Should I give you another emote? Do we wrap up here? I'm really happy with the way that the emotes turned out, to be honest. I brainstormed these for like a month or two. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Khan knocked it out of the fucking park. So yeah, we're playing Betrayal at House on the Hill, huh? I love Betrayal. Ever since I first saw it on Will Wheaton's Tabletop YouTube channel, and I loved it. I loved it the first moment I played it, so... There's got their plans moved and we're locked in at 4. Hell yeah, I'm down. I'm so down. Are you going to be able to make the sync tomorrow, or are you going to sit that one out? You can make the sync? Yes. Yes! I'm actually, for the next multi-world, I'm probably going to add Doom. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. My wife went out to a happy hour with her work colleagues tonight in exchange for my games this weekend. Good exchange. Good exchange. I haven't seen Treasure Planet, and I have no excuses why I haven't. Criminally underrated. It's really good. It's one of honestly, it's one of Disney's best. It's one of their best adapted screenplays. It just straight up is. I don't know why. I don't know why it didn't do so well, like when it came out. But it's great. I love it. Good character development, good VA talent, good music, good backdrop, good everything. You guys ready for the last emote? I think you can probably spot the theme. I definitely have a type that I like to see in my emotes, so but that's it. I cannot add any more emotes because I have filled every slot. I have filled every slot that I have. So if you want to see more, we need 80 sub points. Or we have to ditch something, or we gotta delete something else. Multi-twitch.tv doesn't like new emotes. I forgot that multi-twitch was the thing. I used to use it all the time. When I started out on Twitch, I used to use multi-twitch all the time because that was the only way of like watching many streams at once. Like if you were like streaming as a group, it was the only way. When you and Composer are at the same time, I got split custody. I wasn't planning on streaming tonight, but I wanted to. I had the script written for the Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando Learning Guide, and I didn't want to sleep on it too much longer because I would lose the desire to deliver it. I was motivated to get it out there, and I knew that if I didn't do it sooner rather than later, I would lose that motivation. So when they said that there would be a sync rando on Friday, it'll go, the whole thing. All of this is going to go on YouTube. All of it. But as a VOD. So yes and yes. I'm not going to edit it down because I had my thoughts down in a script. So, and to be perfectly honest, Risen, now that you've seen this, this isn't what you need to see. This isn't the help that you need. It would literally be, hey, I want to try one. Can you can you tutor me as I play the game? Because that would be what a new player would. They would either learn by watching or doing. Because I am not a fan of instructing somebody who isn't hands-on. Whenever I instruct someone on anything, be that professionally or casually, prefer to lay their hands on the thing that they're trying to learn. Be like, all right, start to make mistakes, start to learn. So if someone wanted to watch this and decide that they wanted to try it, but they didn't know where to start, I would literally give them a seat and like, start the game. Let's go. Let's have you start trying it. And I would, guide them through it. So if that sounds like anyone who's watching this, if that sounds like something you're interested in, I'm here for you. Or as with anything that I might know something about, I would be happy to help with that. But there we go. 9 emotes delivered. I hope that you all like them. Why go? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There they are. There they all are. There's all 9 new emotes. All shamelessly stolen cartoon characters. Toxic, I love it. The Syndrome as Toxic was like one of my... I was like, oh, he's perfect for that. Syndrome's character and face are perfect as Toxic. I think the cutest one is Lenny. I was giggling to myself as I was watching Khan draw Lenny. He's so cute. Lenny? Lenny is the name of the binoculars from Toy Story. I don't blame you. His name only comes up like in passing like once, maybe twice in the first movie, I think. But yeah, we got Lightning McQueen, Lenny, Sully, Go-Go, Syndrome, Frozone, Captain Amelia, Vanellope, and Lilo as our new emotes. I love the Lilo emote. When I pictured who would make a good D: face, and I was like, oh, Lilo. Lilo's face is like perfect for that. Have to go help with bedtimes. Have a good one. You too, Farizon. You know. Well, I think that's it for me for tonight. I got the stuff out that I wanted to get out. I'll publish this to YouTube, and I think the next time any of y'all will see me will be probably on Fatinsky's channel as part of a multi-world, as is my usual. I hope you're all having a fantastic Thursday night, though. Those of you who are subscribed, thank you so much for the continued support. I hope you do enjoy the emotes. They are already in Discord. They're already synced to Discord, so you can have them there if you have a Nitro. And of course, they are available for all of your shitposting across Twitch. And I hope you like them. I like them. So. Take care. Have yourselves a fantastic evening, and I will see you all around in Discord and on stream. I love you all. Thank you again for all the support. Mwah. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.